Alright guys, what's up? So, yesterday I did the video on Proverbs, Solomon, and Masonry. Originally, I didn't intend on going into the whole Masonry and that stuff, but it just made sense. But that was actually part of something else, and this video I'm making now, it didn't record. The audio didn't record. So, I'm just going to run this by you. And this is from a book, right? And it's called the Third Testament, like the Third Testament of the Bible. And of course, this doesn't match the tone of the Bible. Obviously, it's not the Third Testament of the Bible, but it basically explains what the Bible means. If you want to go read it, it certainly couldn't hurt. Don't take these things to heart, but if there's something to be learned, then, learn. But let's see what we got here. So because this is called the Third Testament, it's written in verses, just like the Old, the New, and Revelation. So I'm not sure what chapter this is, but we're going to start at verse 45. I've had this in my computer for like 8 months now. So, the first of these phases of spiritual evolution, and that's what we're talking about here. Bible characters used as a means to describe and explain spiritual evolution, right? And this is what my video was supposed to be about yesterday, right? David, who is friend of God, gives birth to Solomon. Solomon is the one who loves wisdom and builds the temple, right? That is a progression from you, going from being part of the world, and then you realize it's all, society is wicked, and the power hierarchies of society are all wicked, and so you separate from that, right? And then you become friend of God. Then you become David. And then from David is born this man who builds the temple and loves wisdom, right? And this is about you. This is spiritual growth and progression. That's what we're reading here. So verse 45. The first of these phases of spiritual evolution in the world is represented by Abel, Cain and Abel, the first minister of the Father, who offered his sacrifice to God. He is the symbol of sacrifice. Envy rose up against him, right? So when we talk about Cain slew Abel, when you become the Abel type of person, when you make the animal sacrifice, because Abel offered animals and Cain offered vegetables, fruits, plants, right? This is an animal sacrifice and a plant sacrifice. Not only does this also tells us something about the seasons of earth, right? Because it was going into wintertime, the plant sacrifice wasn't accepted. Plants were dying. Plants were no good. Animals were an acceptable sacrifice, right? That's the external. Now on the inside, Abel sacrificed the animal, right? The animal nature, you could say. That's not a good way to put it. But he sacrificed the inner animal, the ego, the selfish desires. Cain, he tried to sacrifice his very nature, who he was, and thus it wasn't accepted. Envy rose up against him. 46. The second stage was represented by Noah. He is the symbol of faith. He constructed the ark from divine inspiration and led men into it to reach salvation. Against him, the multitudes railed about mockery and the paganism of their spirits. Yet Noah left his seed of faith. 46. The third stage is represented by Jacob. He symbolizes strength, a solid will. He wrestled with an angel. It's willpower. He is Israel, the strong. Spiritually, he saw the ladder by which all of you, myself included, right? I'll explain. By which all of you will ascend to sit at the right hand of the Creator. The angel of the Lord rose up to test his strength and perseverance. So this says, he saw the ladder by which all of you will ascend. This book is written in the first person as if it were God speaking to you. Like, you understand what I'm saying? It's from God's perspective. That's why it says that. 47. The fourth is symbolized by Moses. He represents the law. He presented the tablets whereon it was written for the humanity of all the times. He wrote the law for humanity for all times. It was he who with his immense faith rescued the people to lead them on the road to salvation to the promised land. He is the symbol of the law. Alright, so in case you haven't figured this out, I don't entirely agree with this as far as the order that it's placed in, and especially these next two coming up. But I also believe that there are more stages. There's stages in between these. There's stages separate from these. But these last two, I almost totally disagree with. But the point here is to give you the example. You know what I mean? 48. The fifth stage is represented by Jesus, the divine word, the sacrificial lamb. He who has spoken to you in all times and who will continue speaking to you. He is love, for he was made man to inhabit the dwelling places of man, to suffer their pains, to show humanity the path of sacrifice, love, and charity, by which it must achieve redemption from all their sins. He came as master, to teach, to be born as part of humanity, to live in love, to achieve the sacrifice, and to die, loving, forgiving, and blessing. He represents the fifth stage, and he is the symbol of love. That I do agree with. If you find pictures of Jesus, right, he's always like, it's the heart, it's love. 49. The sixth stage. Oh, okay, well, whatever. 49. The sixth stage is represented by Elijah, called Elias in the New Testament. He is the symbol of the Holy Spirit. It is he who goes on his chariots of fire, bearing light to all nations and all the worlds that are unknown to you, but known to me. For I am the Father of all the worlds and all the creatures. Again, it's God's perspective. This is the stage in which you are living, that of Elijah. It is his light that illuminates you. He represents the teachings that were hidden but are being revealed to mankind in this era. So, let me pause one more time here. He represents the teachings that were hidden. They were occult. They were hidden, but they are being revealed to mankind in this era. There's a good chance, right, that there are people that already know these things. All right. The seventh stage is represented by the Father himself. He is the end, the culmination of evolution. In him is the stage of grace, the seventh seal. All right, and that's what we were talking about here, right? The seven seals are the seven stages of spiritual growth, or as William Shakespeare said, the seven ages of man, or the seven insert things there were seven of here, colors of the rainbow, for instance. Did you know that colors and frequencies go hand in hand? You know what I'm talking about? Frequency is a really good tool to understand. So let me finish here. 51. Here I have deciphered the mystery of the seven seals. And if you want to take the time, go to Revelation, read up on the seven seals, see if it fits. Maybe it does, maybe it don't. But Go check it out and see. That is why I say to you that this is the sixth seal, for 5 of them have already passed. The 6th is unleashed, but the 7th remains sealed. The time for its contents has not yet arrived. There is time yet before the stage appears before you. When that stage arrives, there shall be grace, perfection, and peace. But oh, how much man will weep to purify his spirit. Alright, so like I said, that is from the Third Testament. That's what the book is called. And there's truth to it, right? As far as it's about the growth of you and me. It's about the growth of man spiritually. It's worth reading. I've read through it a few times, not like every word, but I skimmed through, gave it a light read. You should check it out. But that's it, guys. If you take this same thing, right, and apply it to any person in the Bible and then their descendants, you'll get a similar setup, right, where it starts off as one person who means this thing spiritually. The next stage of that is their child, and then you grow. And the next stage of that is their child, and you grow. Like, there's 2 Enochs in the Bible, right? Cain had a son named Enoch, and then Noah's great-grandfather was Enoch. If you start at Enoch, who walked with God and was pure and all of those things, then you go to his son, and then his son, and then Noah. It's stages of growth for you and me. But I'll see you guys soon. Love you all.